This video is sponsored by TrueGoldRepublic, the precious metals experts. Talk to one of their experts today about diversifying your portfolio to help assure your future financial security. Find their contact information in the description below and pinned in our first comment. God bless TrueGoldRepublic and precious metals and all commodities, real money. You guys know most of my retirement and savings is in precious metals and other commodities, real money. That's why we are always in other countries. We'll trade paper money for commodities any day. All right, James Kaufman, World News Report today. Hey, Miss Teresa, good evening. Mike, what's up? James Kaufman, World News Report today. Today is June 12th, 2024. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. How is everyone doing? I got to get my one note in. It was like $1,000 song. I paid for the little intro. What a nightmare, right? After I did that, YouTube put together a tool so you could make an intro on their site for free. Remember when I used the Star Spangled Banner and they tried to give me a copyright strike on all my videos, but I'd paid for it? And let me tell you, they let me talk to the person that made the strike. And let's just say that he called everyone and told everyone to reverse it because I was about to hit his ass. In a good way. In a good way. All right, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we're going to do a space weather report. And there's some freakish things happening here that I don't understand, can't explain. I'd love to have your insights on any of this stuff. Again, folks, we're going to start out with our KP index. Basically, nothing is supposed to be hitting us today, but nothing was really supposed to hit us yesterday as well, and we did see some impacts. Now, that could have been from the eruption on the 8th that actually caused all the protons, or something else that happened yesterday. But what about today? Well, that's probably going to be from the eruption yesterday. It's hard to say. We're starting to see a little impact here. They have nothing forecast whatsoever, 1s and 2s for the next 3 days. But we all know that, well, first off, they turned the system off for about 4 hours yesterday. And as soon as they turn it back on, all of a sudden we were going into a proton storm. And so I checked it out, and you could see on LASCO there was a huge explosion, and you could see the protons, which I will show you in just a second, hitting LASCO and Cactus 1 right about here, and everyone was asleep. I went ahead and put the video together. And so thus far today, we've had one M flare. It just occurred. We will be able to see it live on Go Solar Ultraviolet Imager. It looks like a 1-2, but we'll check that. We're going to leave this up. It's going to be helpful. All right. I'm going to pull this down real quick. My combo pull down. And this is the 8th. So this impact happened quickly on the 8th, probably what hit us yesterday. Now, I need to slow this down because they are moving. All right, I'll watch the time. Here we are on the 10th still, guys. Look, another huge explosion. Now, they say all these are on the far side of the sun. I guess there's been 2 or 3 now on the far side of the sun. And the weird part is that one as well. And that one was on the 10th. That would be what hit us today. Somehow, it's using our geomagnetic connection. Look at that blast. Tell me that's not an X10 flare. Unbelievable. Now, of course, they say all this is coming. Look at that blast. Wow. Now, that is not coming from where they say it is. It's coming from another sunspot, I believe 3692. Look at this blast now. We're not even into the 12th yet. So it's really hard. There's so many blasts. Look at this comet. See the comet heading into the sun here? Watch it. It's going to sun dive, and then there's going to be, well, see if there's time missing. Let's watch our comet again. Look at that bad boy. You can see it not as well over here. Very well on Cactus 1. Dives right into the sun. And it looks like they cut off a bunch of time there. Yep, they did. So, real hard to tell what occurred. But regularly when a comet that size, which is a very... See that? Whoa! I'm going to have to hit this. And we stopped here yesterday. Look at this. Look at this impact. That's going to be on our actual LASCO C2 on the right and Cactus. And what you're really seeing here is an impact on our cameras because we just had a huge flare erupt. Look at the size of this flare here. Last night at 2348. 2348. Last night, 2348 would be right here. Nothing occurred. Nothing whatsoever. But wait, it gets worse. Now, there are a lot of rocks moving through here. Oh, is this the fake one or the real one? Here's the real one. Look at the size of this eruption. It actually causes a full halo eruption. And it's an hour missing. It's every hour instead of every 12 minutes. Look, 524, 436, 624, 712. Look how bright it is out there now. Obviously another eruption they're hiding. Everything's an hour. Usually these increments are 12 minutes. This one's a little bit better. These are 45-minute increments. Look at this explosion at 13:36 today, which is about the end of the road today. Another huge explosion. Now, do we see that on GOES? We don't even see an M flare on GOES, right? I believe that these might be Earth-facing, and they might be, telling us a fib, right? Telling us a fib. This would be right around 6:40 this morning. 6:40 this morning, that's not when it occurred. They took so much time out. It took an hour out there. So somewhere in between 5:40 and 6:40 Central Time this morning, we had what looks like another rear side X flare. Now we're going to have stuff that's more up to date than that, but it's good to look at Cactus. I believe 3709, maybe 08, maybe 02 over here, maybe causing some of these flares, and they're just not telling us. So we have 2, 4, 6, and then several sunspots that need to be named here coming around the limb. 6 named, 8 probably Earth-facing currently. We'll take a look. Y'all remember the X1.55 flare, which actually we got an X1.55 flare with the sunspot completely eclipsed by the far side of the limb. So it was probably closer to an X10 flare. The protons came around and nailed our camera. I just don't understand why they didn't, and they nailed our GOES. Here, I'll show you. Right here. Right? And then remember this one that just stopped at 9.97? Right here. So we definitely, if we're getting hit, that was the hit from today, from this June 10th X 1.55 solar flare. And that was a big one. Now today we just had an M1.2, biggest one of the day. Still running that C baseline, only a 5% chance of X flares, 40% chance of M flares, but we got one. So we're going to have to up that to 100% chance. What do you say, Dr. Joey? So, hey, DMR. So I want everybody to know, can y'all see that y'all can become members again, or is that not visible to y'all? I'm just wondering, because I've been arguing about y'all's suspended memberships with YouTube for the last 3 or 4 days, and they should unsuspend them. We had over 100 members, and I made sure that the prices they had them up at options at $49, $79, $100. Mine are like $2, $3, and $4 memberships. They even argued with me about that, but I said, look, I like lots of members and to charge as little as possible. So if there's anything, if y'all can see the memberships, just let me know. You don't have to become a member. I'm trying to get everyone that didn't get their full month's worth of membership, trying to get their memberships back for them right now. Right? All right, so today nothing happened. A bunch of C flares. That was basically a C2 baseline, C27 baseline. We'll take a look back here. We've maintained a C165 baseline, and they're calling out C2 flares. Ridiculous, right? We just did have the M1.2 here out of 3711. 3711. And 3711 is right there, nowhere near as bad as 3709. Although this was taken at 7 o'clock this morning, this might look a lot different now. We've definitely got HMI magnetogram and SOHO 384 angstroms coming up that were taken about an hour ago, so we'll be able to tell. We'll leave this up just in case. It's not a heavy program. This is the freak show here. Last night, I was sitting here, and I noticed here at 7 p.m. Central Time last night, all of a sudden, the protons went through the roof. Now, this to you might not look like a large move, but this is a huge move. And this had to do, I guess, with the X flare that was not Earth-facing. Not Earth-facing. Now, NOAA did come out during the middle of my performance. As I showed y'all and read to y'all, that was at 1:30 at night or something. But they did come out and they said that it was a backside eruption and that somehow our geomagnetic connection, Parker spiral connection, actually hit us with protons. And we could see them on LASCO last night, as I showed you guys. Now, I was already 4 or 5 minutes into filming when they came out with an excuse. I was just flabbergasted. So all day long we've been running almost in space weather event threshold of proton storms. That's pure radiation. That's the R, R1, R2, R3, R4, right? Excuse me, I've messed up. It's the S1, S2, S3, S4. R's are our radio. Excuse me. And we do have a polar cap absorption event, which I'm about to show y'all back again. All right, let's see what happened. They won't let us see the beginning of the day, but we can see that we had a solar flare. And there it was. It was huge, absolutely huge. And look, we've just had another one. Boom. They're calling that an M flare. And it looks like they didn't remove too much time. Another M flare. Now, they're calling that out of a different sunspot, and they're calling that out of Earth-facing sunspot, 3711, which again, it's going to be right there. To me, it does not look like 3711 caused that flare. I don't see how anyone could think that, because it's coming out the far right here. And 3711 is located right here. But hey, as long as they don't tell us it's backside again, when you see it jump like that, you know they've removed a lot of time. There's an impact on the camera, but it comes awful late. All right, this is, well, we're going to be able to see 3711. It'll be right here under the small coronal hole. And we should be able to go ahead and see that eruption. I just loaded this. Should come from right here. And I don't see any. There it is, right there. Right under the coronal hole. See the eruption right there. So nothing coming around or leaving the far limb. We do have lots of sunspots coming around the limb that will shortly be named. That is GO Solar Ultraviolet Imager. Now, somehow, it's hard to explain, that put us back, even though it didn't reach space weather thresholds, and, well, it was a proton storm, and, ladies and gentlemen, also, it was facing the other direction. It put us back into a polar cap absorption event, which means hard radiation particles, I guess that's the M flare, looks like it. Hard radiation particles is what we call protons, are pouring in the North Pole for sure and somewhat into the South Pole. And look, this is just increasing after that M flare here. So we are being fried like an egg. How does it feel? It feels just like you feel now, trust me, because you are being fried like an egg. All right, jumping over to Discover Real-Time Solar Wind. We can see pink. Our shields have been down all day long. A couple of crossovers here. Plasma's down here at 430 max. Solar winds at 361 here, 362. Nothing here screams space weather. Nothing anywhere here. These crossovers do here, but you can see the shields pop up. As soon as it crosses over, our shields turn blue and pop up and start to try to protect the planet before they go back to down. There's no solar winds. Started at 350, ended the day at 350. Started the day at, let's say, 4, and ended the day really, really low here. I guess back here, about 2.8. So no space weather whatsoever, although one of our KP indexes said we did have a geomagnetic disturbance, if y'all recall. All right, let me see if I can increase the size of this just a tad bit. Nope, I can't. All right, let's get these. Put on a decent playback speed. And get them going here, guys. What did DJ do? There are no membership buttons. They told me that they were approved. Here, I'll even show y'all. I'll even show y'all that I've been approved, and there should be membership buttons everywhere. Memberships, watch. It's all approved. I fought with them until they reapproved it. The levels are all there. No members, but this was all approved. So you don't see anything, huh? I don't have any members yet because they can't see it. Links to share. No one has to share a link. Follow that link and view my channel and see if there's memberships there. These people are screwballs. I was on the Twitter with them for hours to get memberships back up and to get everyone that got screwed up their membership back for obvious reasons. All right, let's see what we got here. So small I can't even see what we're looking at here. We do know there's been a lot of activity out of 3797, 3764, or 46, whatever you want to call it. There's no super chats either. I think it's this dollar bill here. Support for any chat. You don't see any chats? You just made a chat. I don't understand. Eight foot of water. You got to really watch that last part, right? All right, we see some action, obviously, fleeing, but we also know that we have tons of sunspots coming around, and we can see the more complex ones here. These are delta sunspots with a red dot on them, and really we only have the one that flared just now, which is the only delta sunspot we have that's Earth facing right here. And that was, does anyone remember? 3711. They say M12, M11. They're not quite sure, right? All right. Well, it's on now. I don't know how that worked. I didn't do anything, but I really didn't. Hopefully, people that got put on suspension, that's what I was most worried about. I said, hey, I had a bunch of people in the middle of their monthly memberships. Aren't y'all going to give them back now? They said, sure, just answer these questions. Took me all of 4 days. All right, this is what we have coming around the limb here. A bunch of large sunspots. 023 will actually break up into several sunspots, some in the northern hemisphere, some in the southern. Followed by 028, same deal. They say it's one sunspot. I say it's going to be 3 or 4. And next we have 030 here in army green. And we have 031 here. And I'm looking for 032. And I'm just not seeing it. I'm going to open this up. I want to see it. 032. Boy, folks, they've done hid that on me. That's the first time that's ever occurred. They act like they can't take pictures of the back of the sun, but we know we have 3 spacecrafts back there right now. This is STO-HMI magnetogram. This was taken at 8:30 Central Time tonight. What do we see here? A huge reverse polarity sunspot coming right after us. This is what flared earlier. This looks like another reverse polarity sunspot. This looks very dangerous right here. Unbelievable it has not been named yet, and it's unbelievable that several of these have not been named. But this is very dangerous looking, with the positive over the negative in the southern hemisphere. Should not be like that. And we can see all of the light, all of the activity coming around the limb here. It's not going to let up. This sunspot right here, 7011, is that what we've got? 3711, excuse me. 3711 is ready to rumble here, or here, excuse me. And then we have several coming around the limb. All right, what else are we getting here? So this is the big X flare, I guess, from yesterday. Or is this the M flare from today? Let's see. Might be the M flare from today. Or that's last night's flare, guys, that they said was headed away. I did do a video on that. Again, that happened last night. And this is what they're blaming the proton storm on, the polar cap absorption event on. And if you'll notice these white and black ropes, these are geomagnetic connections to the sun. The sun in this model is moving right at you at 544,000 miles an hour. And the speed that Earth here in yellow is orbiting the sun, although it must be behind the sun because this is the magnet pulling it, right? Or below the sun's plane. It's nowhere near a flat plane. I have shown y'all pictures of that, and we will take a look for one of them in a second. But we're moving 67,000 miles an hour around the sun, and it takes 1 Earth year for us to move all the way around the sun. So at 67,000 miles an hour. Well, both Earth and the Sun are also moving at you in this model at 544,000 miles an hour away from the Big Bang. What is hit? Well, they say Parker SP's hit. They say that our Osiris, what used to be Rex, apex now, which they were going to crash into the Sun. I don't know why they haven't. They say that Mars is taking a huge hit here. They say that Solo back here, the European ESA satellite. Look at all these things that we could take pictures of the back of the Sun with. Yet there's no pictures of the back of the Sun. And we even here have Venus. We even here have Mercury hit. These are all direct hits. So all of it gets wiped out, right? If that was the X20 it'll look like. All right, let's see what the ESA has to say here. I am guessing that was the hit that everyone got wrong. Everyone got that one wrong. And they've got us today on the 12th. We'll go back. Now, we know where we're at on the 12th here. And, heck, they have us almost going down to 0 centimeters cubed of plasma. We at least went down to 1.8 here at the end of the day. And solar winds, they have us going down to 300 kilometers per second. Well, we started at 450 and we're still at 440, so that didn't happen. But we're still headed south, if you will. Headed south. All right. Going to the planets' positions. And let me see if I can pull that up real quick. All right, let me see if I can see it. This is it right here. All right, this is what I want y'all to know this is really what it looks like. The Sun is moving away from the Big Bang to the left at 544,000 miles an hour. This is our solar system. All the planets are geomagnetically connected to the Sun, and they're all circling the Sun at different speeds. Only one of them is circling at rotating or orbiting the opposite way. And I believe that's Venus. Is that correct? Venus is actually orbiting the opposite ways of the rest of the planets. Most of the big planets and the further out planets take years. Pluto is said to take over 900 years to orbit the Sun one time. 900 plus years, excuse me. But this is really what it looks like. It's a mess. It's not a single flat plane like they want you to believe. This is all a magnetic connection to the Sun. Therefore, the planets would never go in front of the Sun. They'd always have to somehow be below it, right? Because it's pulling them. It's pulling them. But here is a flat plane to make it easier. We have our Sun in a pretty safe position right now, off to the left here. And no huge problems. I mean, we can say, hey, we're lined up to the Sun, Mercury, Jupiter, and Uranus. It's not a perfect lineup, but we are. We've seen no earthquakes whatsoever in months. As soon as they did the revamp on the system, we haven't seen an earthquake since then. Kind of like this system, right? They revamped it yesterday. Now, this is what I want to show you all that's even more interesting. Even though we had that huge event, and they say a proton storm is hitting Earth, well, in this pressure model, Earth is moving to the left here. The white part is Earth-facing, or Sun-facing. The black part is away from the Sun. But remember, every 24 hours, it rotates. The gray area is our atmosphere here. So we're moving to the left at 67,000 miles an hour, orbiting our Sun, also moving at you on both models at 544,000 miles an hour, being pulled by our Sun away from the Big Bang. But we have a huge pressure contingent, not on the bow where you would expect it, not even north of the bow here, but behind our planet. And everyone says, James, that's just an ebbing effect. Haven't you ever seen a boat? Yeah, I've seen a boat. I've owned several. The bow has to be actually breaking the water or the pressure in this instance, or solar weather, for it to come back. Again, we have another influencer that's very close by because there's no bow shock from the proton storm, which I find impossible, more than impossible. But again, this is University of Michigan, and you always have to watch them, right? Well, that's nice. Chill. How you doing, bro? Good to see you. Now, Teresa, I know I'm asking crazy things from you, but hey, you wouldn't be able to find that Thomas part where God gets in trouble, or Jesus gets in trouble, which is God, for making the clay birds, would you? Because I'd like to compare that to the 1,600-year-old manuscript that was deciphered today. If that's possible. If not, I understand. If you're even around, we can probably type something in. Now, guys, tell me what's going on. What do y'all want to see next? We really have a weird deal going on here. They say nothing's Earth-facing, except for this last flare was Earth-facing, and it did spit out a CME. But let me show you this. They don't have us being hit by anything, and it's been 24 hours here. We're in almost a proton storm on and off. Again, we just had that M flare, and just so y'all know, I'll do it the quick way. There's the M flare explosion right there. Supposedly, they gave us the Sunspot name, right? There it is right there. 3711, right? 3711. I don't know how it went that way. They'll have to explain that to me another day, but you can see the halo eruption there from 3711. You can also match it up to the timing right here. So there should be a CME inbound, but when you actually geomagnetic storm, radio blackout, this is a radiation storm right here. Radiation storm, S. So S is radiation, R is an R1 blackout, which we just had because of the M flare, but we're in a polar cap absorption event because of the protons pounding Earth with our shields down. I showed you our shields were pink down. I don't know why they're not up. And let's see, I was going to show you one more thing real quick. What was I going to show y'all? Oh, I do know. Hold on. Well, that worked quick. Look, they've just made their new forecast. Everything is a 1. I've never seen anything like this. I want y'all to remember this. June 13th, 14th, and 15th. Even though we've had all the proton storms, we've had all the crap, even though we had a geomagnetic disturbance today, everything's a 1 for the 13th, 14th, and 15th. And we all know it's not going to work that way. But this is their forecast. Either way we look at it, or any way we look at it, we'll see what they've got going on here. They're looking for a little impact right about now on the 13th, which it is UTC time. I guess that's going to be from what's coming through the geomagnetic connection from the X 1.55 flare here. It's like plasma about 12 centimeters cubed, and they have solar winds going from 350 to 450. Well, they're already at 450. We'll see what happens, right? All right, so I'm going to put up a quick poll, guys. Now, if anyone can afford to buy us a cup of coffee, it's greatly appreciated. We get like almost 96% of coffee that you buy us. So it's really a great way to help the channel out and keep us going if you can afford a cup of coffee. 50 cups is better than one, but we would love just one. So It's got to go at some point. It's going to go for sure. All right. Blessing Stove. We're going to ask one question and we'll be back. I had to erase that headlines. It got me scared, but we still got the views off of it. Got paid off of it. Headlines or... And I'm going to add one more. Now, if you pick the last one, you have to be willing to call in and say howdy. We'll run that for a second. Then we'll be back with our last live for the evening, hopefully. Yes, sir. What do you say, Danny? That's what I mentioned on there. It looked like it was more dangerous than 3711, for sure. You probably just jumped in, but I still have it up. Well, let's see. 12 must be one of these, and what we can do is, whoa, let's go here, see what the updated version looks like. 3712 coming around, 3713 coming around. So now this evening we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, with 3713, 3712 being obnoxious. 3711 is the one that gave us all the trouble, and 3709 is obnoxious as well. Now 3712, Dan, is the one that I called out as a reverse polarity sunspot. That's why it looks so bad here. I want to show it to you. And I'm going to have to pull up the history here. It'll be right here. Look at it, Dan. White over black. We already talked about this. I said it should be named. I guess it is named. 3712 right here. A reverse polarity sunspot. They promised only 4 1,000% were reverse polarity sunspots. And that one looks absolutely horrific. Look at all the positive energy and over the negative energy. And look up here, reverse polarity, negative over positive in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, black should be over white. In the northern hemisphere, white should be over black. Now we are in the midst of an 11-year pole flip, or magnetic pole flip on our sun. That probably has a lot to do with all these reverse polarity sunspots, but they're always more dangerous. Our STO did not bring that one around, so we could not see if it was delta yet. If it has a little red spot on it, it's going to be delta. Now we'll keep you all updated, but we discussed how dangerous the reverse polarity was. Probably before you got here. But yes, the updated version. There's going to be a lot more sunspots coming around that are going to be named. Remember, I looked it up, and 29 Earth-facing sunspots is an all-time record. Happens to be when? 2004, right? 2004, when we had the last biggest solar storm besides the one we had 2 weeks ago. So they said that y'all are supposed to see Aurora Borealis tonight in the northern hemisphere. I said, how? Y'all aren't showing us any plasma or anything that would cause it. No impacts. No space weather on Discover or ACE. How would we have Aurora Borealis? If we do have Aurora Borealis, they've lied to us. Again, right? Again. There was much more of an Earth component to that X 1.55 solar flare than we would have wanted. And obviously, our Lasco and our cactus are only 150 miles above Earth, and the sun's 93.3 million miles away. If it hits the satellite 100 miles up orbiting and kills the planet with a polar cap absorption event, would you think it was going to hit the planet? But of course. Excuse me. Hey, Karen Reeves, great to see you. I need to make a special badge in case anyone wants to become a member again. Hopefully I won't get kicked off. I really was hoping anyone that didn't get their full membership month was going to get it, but I don't know if that's how that works or not. Hopefully no one lost any money on that deal, except for me, right? Whoa. So let's take a look at what we've got. Looks like volcanoes and earthquakes are going to be leading the way. It's all lies. I believe you. I believe you. Do you think that the earthquakes are lies too? I know they're not, because I've been through about 6 of them. Or the tornadoes lies? I know they're not, because I've been through about 6 of them. Y'all want to take a look at the flooding real quick in Florida? Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look. Actually, got to expand this to look. Now, we'll do it a few times before we unexpand it. 2 different ways at least. All right, there we go. Should do us. All right. Oh, whoa, it's much worse than I thought it was. This is last night, Shoreline Avenue, Sarasota, Florida. Wow, I would have never guessed. 10.3 inches of rain, 3.93 in 1 hour. 4 inches of rain in 1 hour. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Wow, Miami, Florida. Look, Miami, Florida. Got to be, remember, turn around. Don't drown. Look at this guy. He didn't want to be helped. Wow. Look how deep that car is. Think about all the electric cars in Florida, and think about the sharks in that water. And jumping in one, look at that's an M series, an M4. Think about the sharks, and also think about the electric cars. You put your feet in that water, there might be an electric car nearby, and you might fry. Fry, Daddy, fry. Maybe that's the plan, right? Crazy, crazy, crazy. Looks like someone thinks they're getting ready. They banned weather modification. They put a bill through a month or 2 ago here in Texas, and they're still doing it. Florida. Sky, not too bright. There's a bunch of them that aren't too bright here. You just don't drive into water that high. These are high-dollar cars. They're completely ruined. See if this Suburban gets stuck, shall we? It's the president. The tow truck is waiting for someone to get stuck. That's humorous. The tow truck was waiting for someone to get struck. That is pretty epic. Wow, folks. Sarasota really took it. I thought Fort Lauderdale and Miami had taken it much worse based on the flood warnings I saw on weather.com. This is life-threatening flood emergency. I-95 shut down. Look at this. See, this is, again, I thought the look at the Atlantic coast was going to get hit. Looks like everything got hit. And this is not even a tropical storm yet. This is just a tropical system. I don't even think it's a tropical depression yet. I did a story on it just a few hours ago. Boy, those are really nice Lexuses. Not that one anymore. It's going to be impossible to buy a used car soon. I'll just stick with the one I have, I think. I guess it really already is impossible. And this is from today, Miami. I know Miami took a beating. M3 or four-door. They're just showing nice rides. Miami, next left. Don't take it. Lots of water. Let's watch this real quick here, guys. Unbelievable. It looks like weather manipulation. I'm guessing if I go over, watch this. We already know how this is going to turn out, don't we? See if I can get back far enough in the day is the only question. This is much further south than I thought it was going to go, and then they have it going. It's really going across the Keys here, and we know that the ships are here from the Soviet Union with their hypersonic missiles. Does anyone think that they'll see the circle here? I don't think that's a storm. I think that this might be something to make it hard for these ships to dock. And I think this might be man-made, i.e. American pie, right? So I'm not seeing what I thought I would see here, which is some brown weather making. But what we are seeing here, and I think y'all can see these circles here. If not, I'll kind of get in on it. There they are. If y'all can just barely see it. Look at them. That's your actual, that's where they're hitting it, right there. So, as they come up the Keys and into Miami, and they've already dealt with a lot. You can see the circles really easily there at the end. I'll stop it at the end. That is, and this is what's going to be doing that. SBX-1. Not HARP, guys. HARP is from the 80s. HARP was sold. HARP was sold. This is the X-band radar, floating military radar, SBX-1. James Kaufman, World News Report today. Who am I speaking with?
This is Teresa. Good evening.
Hey, how are you?
Wonderful. Is this a good time?
Yes, ma'am. It's always a good time. I don't know if it doesn't matter. Whatever you've chosen is great with me. But I was just wondering, did you read that article I put up earlier about...
I loved that video. What a beautiful visual. I never heard that story before.
So I don't even know if it existed. That's kind of why I asked you. It was Thomas, and I know Thomas does speak of Jesus' childhood, and I had some people that are more into the Quran, which is really the first 5 books of the Old Testament, okay? We need to get that straight. That said Jesus did miracles in his crib. Well, I've never read that. I actually did a search on Google, and the first miracle, and y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, please, because this is not my forte, is going to be the water into wine. That's according to the 3 or 4 searches I did. So if y'all know better, please correct me. I'd love to know what y'all's opinions are.
I think you're correct on that.
Yeah, I did go as far as to go look, because someone gave me 7 or 8 of them that is, and I have no problem with it, but the Quran is just the 5 first books of the Old Testament. So that's why I had some question. If he's reading the book of Thomas and I'm reading the book of Thomas, What does
Are
it?
you done looking at Florida? You want me to open the book?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we're just, anytime you tell me where to go, I'll go. We're just seeing how bad it really was, and it's worse than
Oh, it's bad. Yeah.
I didn't know it was that bad. I won't lie.
Yeah.
Especially because it's not even a tropical storm or not even a tropical depression right now. It's just a tropical system. That's the weird part, okay?
Oh, Dr. Joey says, oh, yeah, cool, Dr. Joey. Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I had never heard it before.
Well, no one had until today, Dr. Joey, unless you got some information. Neither did the people from the Torah. The Islamic people that called, they didn't know that one, but they gave me several other miracles. I said, well, wait a minute. I asked them, I said, you guys just think that, then I didn't say you guys, I was being respectful, think that Jesus was just a prophet. How is he doing all these miracles then? That's what I had to ask him, and I didn't get an answer at that point.
We're
Right?
going to 2 Corinthians, chapter 4.
It's called Corinthians, C-O-R.
Put a 2 in front of it.
Okay, 2.
Corinthians, chapter 4.
4. 2 Corinthians 4. We got it. NIV 2. So we're set, ready to go. Make sure that we're in the right place. Present weakness and resurrection life. Is that what you have? Does it start off, therefore, since through God's mercy we have this ministry?
Yes, it does.
All right. Whenever you're ready, I'm ready.
Because we are all treasures in jars of clay.
Huh. That's even scarier. But mine doesn't say that.
I know, mine does.
Isn't that wild? And you just opened the book just now?
Yeah, I did.
I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go hide in the closet.
Do you have NIV on there?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
I
Here.
don't know why it's different.
See, it says NIV right here, guys. New International Version. And there's several NIVs, and this is the normal one. It's all right. Let's read your version, and it usually matches up pretty well.
Okay, here we go.
Yes, ma'am.
Therefore, since through God's mercy we have this ministry, we do not lose heart. Rather, we have renounced secret and shameful ways. We do not use deception, nor do we distort the word of God. On the contrary, by setting forth the truth plainly, we commend ourselves to every man's conscience in the sight of God, that even in our gospel is veiled. It is veiled to those who are perishing. The God of this age has blinded the minds of the unbelievers, so that they cannot see the light of the gospel of the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. For we do not preach ourselves, but Jesus Christ as Lord, and ourselves as your servants, for Jesus' sake, for God who said, let light shine out of darkness, made his light shine in our hearts, to give us the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Christ. But we have this treasure in jars of clay to show that this all-surpassing power is from God and not from us. We are hard-pressed on every side, but not crushed, not perplexed, but not in despair. We are not persecuted. We are not abandoned. We are not struck down, but not destroyed. We are always carrying around in our body the death of Jesus, so that the life of Jesus may also be revealed in our body. For we who are alive are always being given over to death for Jesus' sake, so that his life may be revealed in our mortal body. So then, death is at work in us, but life is at work in you. It is written, I believed, therefore I have spoken it. With the same spirit of faith, we also believe that therefore speak, because we know that the one who raised the Lord Jesus from the dead will also raise us with Jesus and present us with you in his presence. All of this is for your benefit, so that the grace is that reaching more and more people may cause thanksgiving to overflow to the glory of God. Therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs all of them. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but on what is unseen. For what is seen is temporary, but what's unseen is eternal. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome, honey.
Thank you so much. Wonderful job as always. Y'all give Miss Teresa a thumbs up. Thank you so much.
Talk to you later.
You have a wonderful evening.
Much love.
Much love to Miss Teresa, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We'll check this last deal out here we haven't seen here. And this is going to be flooding Florida instead of Florida flooding. Wow. Don't buy any cars from Florida. And you can see this is way up here where they say the storm is, but the spinning is happening way down offshore from that SPX-1. Where is this? Everglades City, Florida. I mean, I would be worried. We're talking about alligators, sharks, snakes. I think I'll take a hard pass, right? This is Miami-Dade County. This is Miami. Everyone's trying to stick to the top. I can't believe this is right downtown. This is unbelievable. A state of emergency in Broward, Collier, Lee, Miami-Dade, and Sarasota counties due to major flooding. Again, only a tropical disturbance. It's going to be a heck of a year. Or a hell of a year. I guess we better teach it like it is, right, guys? It hit hard. I will be doing an update on this in the morning. We do it every day. Ball Harbor, Florida, shut down. Collins Avenue. I've been on Collins Avenue. Wow. And again, the problem here is the sharks were already right on the beach in 2 feet of water, all up and down the East Coast and Gulf Coast. We had at least 4 or 5 people attacked off the Florida coast. And I'm talking about in 2-3 feet of water off the Florida coast just this week. And now there's water everywhere. You want to talk about thanks but no thanks? Think about all the snakes, the alligators. Crocodile was no one's showing any. Whoa. No one's showing any of that stuff, which is unbelievable. I'm sure someone should have gotten a picture of a big snake, a crocodile, or something. All right, guys, we're going to be back shortly. And we'll be back with earthquakes, volcanoes, and wildfires. I told y'all they were starting a wildfire up in Oregon. We'll see how well their satellites are doing. And we'll be back in 13 minutes. 13 minutes will give me time to do everything I need. I've done it so many times. With that said, if anyone can buy us a cup of coffee, much appreciated. If anyone can become a member, much appreciated. We had over 120 members when they came after me. Would absolutely love to have any members back. Thank you guys. Please share. Please subscribe. Always remember, anything's possible in Bizarro World. God bless.